More comments about the teachers refusing to go back to work in a lot of these big cities. 781, I thank God we can afford to send our 3 kids to a private Christian school 5 days a week full time. A few remote days due to some cases, but my kids are learning. Here's 860. These teachers are going to break their arms patting themselves on the backs. Remember a few years ago when their students were eating Tide Pods? Those who can't teach. Those who can't teach Jim. That's another Woody Allen line. 561. Unions protect workers from the fiendish practices of business owners. Who's the owner with a public sector union? Do you feel fiendish asking teachers to teach? 941 here in Florida, south of Tampa, it's been full-time in person all year. They have an at-home option, but that's an extreme minority of loony lib parents. 339, my barber is in more danger than the teachers. 508, my wife is a teacher and currently being berated in a Zoom call by her colleagues for advocating full return of elementary students. 781, if there's an online Catholic school, it's less than $1,000 a year. I was looking into it. If my Catholic school didn't open in September, it would save me $3,500 in tuition. Luckily, our school opened. 844-500-4242. 917 wants to know if the Dems have renounced Jen Psaki's homophobic beliefs yet. Has she even been asked about it by the crack scribes in the White House press corps? I don't think so. Yeah. If you recall, last summer she referred to Senator Lindsey Graham as Lady G in a tweet. Hashtag Lady G. That's a homophobic slur, but it's okay because she's a Democrat. Time now for the chump line.
Know the old saying, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes journalism.
They used to say journalism was the first draft of history. Now it's the first draft of lying and big lying and fake news.
Do you think that Friday's jobs numbers report will be unexpectedly lower than predicted?
If it's lower than predicted, it will indeed be unexpected. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week announcing the relaunching of our wicked awesome website. It's faster, it's leaner, it's even younger looking, kind of like the Howie Carr of websites. In fact, there's even a rarely seen inspirational video of Howie getting the ice bucket challenge.
Era. Ask not what John Kerry can do for our country. Ask what our country can do for John Kerry.
It's the least we can give him, his own jet, his own government jet, to save us some wear and tear on the flying squirrel. 508 says, I'm just a dumb nurse. No risk for us. Yeah. I mean, what do they think? How about the people in the grocery stores? How about the people at Home Depot? How about the people on the transit systems? I know nobody's on the transit systems, but theoretically you have a risk, right?
Howie, Charlie Baker calling. We need to remind the folks in the communities that COVID doesn't take halftime off. So in order to prevent the Super Bowl from becoming a super spreader, don't gather with folks outside your coterie. And if you try to grope someone, wear 2 masks.
That's good advice. I hope people were taking notes on that. And again, he's opening capacity a little more, but like he always does, he waits until after the weekend. You know, he could have cut at some point in this last year the restaurants and bars and all the businesses, but mainly restaurants and bars, a little bit of slack by letting them open for the weekend. This is Super Bowl weekend, right? There people like to go and watch the game in public settings, even if you don't call it a bar room. Just call it a sports bar that serves food. But do you think he would ever consider giving the restaurant owners, the licensed victualers, as they call them, an extra day to make a few bucks. Cut one.
Effective Monday, February 8th at 5 a.m., tighten capacity restrictions that we put in place right after Christmas to limit many businesses to 25% capacity will be adjusted. All businesses that are currently limited to 25% capacity will be able to go to 40% capacity.
So if you were planning on making a buck or at least breaking even on Super Bowl Sunday, forget about it. Ha 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 ha.
What's with 40%? Why not 50?
I don't know. Why was the virus going to rampage at 9:31 p.m., but not at 9:30 p.m., Taylor? Again, I've said it a million times in the last year, none of this makes the slightest bit of sense.
Today, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez confirmed that she came under sniper fire during a trip to Bosnia in 1996. When questioned about the fact that she was just 7 years old at the time, Ocasio-Cortez responded by holding up her French bulldog and saying that she was 47 in dog years.
Joe Biden has said today that he was under fire on a trip to Baghdad, I believe, and he had to.
Incredible group of diplomats that I've had a chance to work with, and what we never talk about is you not only have great intellectual capacity, you have great personal courage. I've been with some of you when we've been shot at. I've been with some of you when we've been in places that you would not have any idea you'd want to be when you were going to school foreign policy.
He said that in 2007 and had to retract the statement. He said it during a debate. He later revised the claim, saying, in fact, I was near where a shot landed. But again, he's done it again. And he also said incorrectly in that same campaign, I am a hard coal miner. Okay. And you remember 1988. Why am I the first Biden in 1,000 generations to go to college? That was made up nonsense as well.
Beautiful Things, the book that explains the difference between Beau Biden and blow.
That's the name of his new book. It's being published by Simon & Schuster. Now, Simon & Schuster canceled the book contract for Senator Josh Hawley, who was writing about censorship by big tech. But they're going to publish the memories of wasn't there a book called something of an opium eater, memories of an opium eater, or someone will text in the right. But this is memories of a crack addict and an alcoholic and a sex addict. My question though is, Hunter Biden's going to make some money off this, and I'm sure they'll bulk buy it the way they always do for a politician's book to launder money, basically. Does the big guy get 50% of this, like he does on all of Hunter's other business ventures, according to Hunter himself in an email to his daughter? Is the book going to be illustrated with some of the photographs from Hunter's laptop computer? Incidentally, did you see the two FBI agents that were killed earlier this week? They were trying to make an arrest on a kiddie porn suspect in Florida. One of them was the kiddie porn FBI expert who was involved in the Hunter Biden laptop investigation. His name is Daniel Alfin. Just pointing out that.
Was AOC traumatized or dramatized?
Or would it be melodramatized? 978 says, regarding Baker's latest decision, most restaurants are closed on Monday as well. I hadn't even I'd forgotten about that.
Mayor Walsh, do you expect us to run our economy on fairy dust?
Or unicorn urine. He got his Senate hearing today before the Labor Committee, and it was just all softball questions. Nobody asked him about his latest pick as Boston Police Commissioner, who's now been suspended in the wake of these allegations about his domestic abuse. And after he gets a restraining order, and they tell him in 1999 to turn over his gun. How can you be a cop if you can't carry a gun? How do you remain a cop if you have a restraining order? And part of the restraining order under Massachusetts law and probably most other states is you have to turn over your firearms. You can't have a firearm. So how was this guy a cop, let alone he rose to the top of the department?
Lovey, a private jet is the only choice for a jet-setting gigolo like me, but it appears the peasants want me to offset the carbon footprint. Perhaps we could put a solar panel in one of the mansions, preferably where I can't see it. It was bad enough that I had to look at that fire hydrant for all those years.
Yeah, you may recall that he had a fire hydrant outside of his mansion, a former Episcopalian convent on Beacon Hill in Boston, and he finally had it removed. And you may also recall that during the snowiest, coldest winter since they started keeping meteorological records in 2014, 2015, he was jetting around the world talking about the threat, the peril of global warming. And we were getting hit with like a blizzard every third or fourth day. And he was fined $50 for not shoveling his sidewalk because he was in his government jet flying around talking about how the world was going to be destroyed by global warming.
That was your last Chump Line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
That's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message anytime between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday. The Chump Line number, if you wish to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. We have another Chump Line posted of messages that didn't make the Chump Line you just heard. It's called Chopped Chumps. It's posted every evening around 7 o'clock. Get Chopped Chumps wherever you get the rest of your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, this week announcing the relaunching of our wicked awesome website. It's faster, it's leaner, it's even younger looking, kind of like the Howie Carr of websites. In fact, there's even a rarely seen inspirational video of Howie getting the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Howie, Charlie Baker calling. We need to remind the folks in the communities that COVID doesn't take halftime off. So in order to prevent the Super Bowl from becoming a super spreader, don't gather with folks outside your coterie. And if you try to grope someone, wear 2 masks.
If you're planning a Super Bowl party, just email or text your friends and say, come to the peaceful protest. Kickoff for the peaceful protest is what, 6:25, something like that? Then you'll just, instead of toasting marshmallows, just, burn down the building next door. Loot the local neighborhood market. Charlie Parker will congratulate you on exercising your First Amendment rights. I'm Howie Carr.
He's suave, he's debonair, he's Howie Carr.